November. The next day at school, oh, you remember what happened, right, yesterday?
Totally.
That's not the part that that you remember.
She didn't
What
want
did
to
she
send
do
them out. She left. She left the party because she wanted to keep hanging out with August, and she wanted to go to the parade.
She was feeling pressured to be.
Yeah, because she impulsively likes Julian.
Well, she doesn't like Julian.
I know.
Julian likes her.
Yeah, she was feeling pressured to like be in this couples thing to be popular, and I think the real thing that really bothered her was this thing when because she says it right here, right after the last thing Savannah says, which is, everyone likes you, Summer. Everyone thinks you're really nice and that you're really, really pretty. You could totally be a part of our group if you want to, and believe me, there are a lot of girls in our grade who would love that. And then she's like, I know. And so I think that's enough to turn her off. Like, this is gross. That like the pretty people get to approve you to decide whether or not you can hang out with the pretty people. And it's like, oh, you're doing me this great favor by letting me hang out with you? That's just...
That's not a good fever.
That's not a good fever. Like, just, oh, wow, thanks. You know? So she's smart enough to know not to get into that, just to be popular. All right, now I need you to... November. The next day at school, I told Savannah I had eaten some really bad Halloween candy and gotten sick, which is why I went home early from her party, and she believed me. There was actually a stomach bug going around, so it was a good lie. I also told her that I had a crush on someone else that wasn't Julian, so she would leave me alone about that and hopefully spread the word to Julian that I wasn't interested. She, of course, wanted to know who I had a crush on, and I told her it was a secret. August was absent the day after Halloween, and when he came back, I could tell something was up with him. He was acting so weird at lunch.
Mr. Tall, quick question. Why would her mom even want to know that? Why would her mom even want to know this?
Her mom doesn't want to know it.
No, about the crush. Who wants to know about the crush?
Savannah.
Oh,
Tell each other. Tell the person next to you. Why is Augie acting so weird now?
because he
Remember, he had even taken off a day. He even stayed home November 1st, and he comes back November 2nd. He's acting weird. He barely said a word and kept looking down at his food, and when I talked to him, like he wouldn't look me in the eye. Finally, I was like, Augie, is everything okay? Are you mad at me or something? No, he said. Sorry you weren't feeling well on Halloween. I kept looking for Boba Fett in the hallways. Yeah, I was sick. Did you have that stomach bug? Yeah, I guess. He opened a book and started to read, which is kind of rude. I'm so excited about the Egyptian Museum project, I said. Aren't you? He shook his head, his mouth full of food. I actually looked away because between the way he was chewing, which almost seemed like he was being gross on purpose, and the way his eyes were just kind of closed down, I was getting a really bad vibe from him. What project did you get? I asked. He shrugged, pulled out a little scrap of paper from his jeans pocket and flicked it across the table to me. Everyone in the grade got assigned an Egyptian artifact to work on for Egyptian Museum Day, which was in December. The teachers wrote all the assignments down on tiny scraps of paper, which they put into a fishbowl, and then all us kids in the grade took turns picking the papers out of the fishbowl in assembly. So I unfolded Augie's little slip of paper. Oh, cool, I said, maybe a little overexcited because I was trying to get him psyched up. You got the step pyramid of Saqqara. I know, he said. I got Anubis, the god of the afterlife. The one with the dog head? Well, it's actually a jackal head, I corrected him. Hey, you want to start working on our projects together after school? You could come over to my house. He put his sandwich down and leaned back in his chair. I can't even describe the way he was looking at me. You know, Summer, he said, you don't have to do this. What are you talking about? You don't have to be friends with me. I know Mr. Tushman talked to you. I have no idea what you're talking about. You don't have to pretend is all I'm saying. I know Mr. Tushman talked to some kids before school and told them they had to be friends with me. He did not talk to me, August. Yeah, he did. No, he did not.
Oh, no.
Yeah, he did. No, he didn't. I swear on my life. I put my hands up in the air so he could see I wasn't crossing my fingers. He immediately looked down at my feet, so I shook off my Uggs so he could see my toes weren't crossed. You're wearing tights, he said accusingly. You can see! My toes are flat, I yelled. Okay, you don't have to scream. I don't like being accused of things, okay? Okay, I'm sorry. You should be. He really didn't talk to you? Augie! Okay, I'm really sorry. I would have stayed mad at him longer, but he then told me about something bad that had happened to him on Halloween, and I couldn't stay mad at him anymore. Basically, he heard Jack bad-mouthing him and saying really horrible things behind his back. Kind of explains his attitude, and now I knew why he'd been out sick. Promise you won't tell anyone, he said. I won't, I nodded. Promise we won't ever be mean like that to me again? Promise, he said, and we pinky swore. Warning, this kid is rated R.
Oh no.
What? Who said that? Oh, no.
Well, this is Summer talking, remember. I had warned Mom about August's face. I had described what he looked like. I did this because I know she's not always so good at faking her feelings, and August was coming over for the first time today. I even sent her a text at work to remind her about it, but I could tell from the expression on her face when she came home after work that I hadn't prepared her enough. She was shocked when she came through the door and saw his face for the first time. Hi, Mom, this is Augie. Can he stay for dinner? I asked quickly. It took a second for my question to even register. Hi, Augie, she said. Well, of course, sweetheart, if it's okay with Augie's mother. While Augie called his mother on his cell phone, I whispered to Mom, stop making that weirded out face. She had that look like, this is Summer talking, her mom. She had that look like when she's watching the news and some horrific event has happened. She nodded quickly like she hadn't realized she was making a face and was really nice and normal to Augie afterward. After a while, Augie and I got tired of working on our projects and went to hang out in the living room. Augie was looking at the pictures on the mantle and he saw a picture of me and Daddy. Is that your dad? He said. Yeah. I didn't know you were, what's the word? Biracial. Right, that's the word. Yeah. Oh, biracial. My kids are biracial. That's when they have parents of two different races. So that she is a mix of two different races. So my kids are, so even though I'm Chinese, Mrs. Ta is white, and so my kids are half white and half Chinese.
Buddy just said if he asked
I'm half African,
if Summer was Augie's sister.
I'm half African.
Okay.
I'm not African. Oh my God,
She's
Guys, how much time have you been recording, by the way?
Front door alarm.
Don't worry about that.
Eight.
Okay, I'll come on.
Yeah, 8 minutes.
Obviously, if you can see that she's biracial, that she sees a picture of the dad and he looks like a different race, he's probably African American. He probably looks dark, right, compared to her. Right, that's the word. Yeah. He looked at the picture again. Are your parents divorced? I've never seen him at drop-off or anything. Oh, no, I said. He was a platoon sergeant. He died a few years ago. Whoa, I didn't know that. Yeah, I nodded, handing him a picture of my dad in his uniform. A platoon sergeant, he was in the military. Handing him a picture of my dad in his uniform. Wow, look at all those medals. Yeah, he was pretty awesome. Wow, Summer, I'm sorry. Yeah, it sucks. I really miss him a lot. Yeah, wow. He nodded, handing me back the picture. Have you ever known anyone who died? I asked. Just my grandmother, and I don't even really remember her. That's too bad. Augie nodded. You ever wonder what happens to people when they die? I asked. He shrugged. Not really. I mean, I guess they go to heaven. That's where my gran went. I think about it a lot. That's it. Mitchell, sit up. I think about it a lot, I said. I think when people die, their souls go to heaven, but just for a little while. Like, that's where they see their old friends and stuff and kind of catch up on old times. But then I actually think the souls start thinking about their lives on earth, like if they were good or bad or whatever, and then they get born again as brand new babies in the world. Why would they want to do that? Because then they get another chance to get it right, I answered. Their souls get a chance to have a do-over. He thought about what I was saying and then nodded. Kind of like when you get a makeup test, he said. Yeah, right. But they don't come back looking the same, he said. I mean, they look totally different when they come back, right? Oh yeah, I answered. Your soul stays the same, but everything else is different. I like that, he said, nodding a lot. I really like that, Summer. That means in my next life, I won't be stuck with this face. He pointed to his face when he said that and batted his eyes, which made me laugh. I guess not, I shrugged. Hey, I might even be handsome, he said, smiling. That would be so awesome, wouldn't it? I could come back and be this good-looking dude and be super buff and super tall. I laughed again. He was such a good sport about himself. That's one of the things I like the most about Augie. Hey, Augie, can I ask you a question? Yeah? Like you knew exactly what I was going to ask. I hesitated. I've been wanting to ask him this for a while, but I've always lost the guts to ask. What? He said. You want to know what's wrong with my face? Yeah, I guess, if it's okay for me to ask. He shrugged. I was so relieved that he didn't seem mad or sad. Yeah, it's no big deal, he said casually. The main thing I have is this thing called mandibulofacial dysostosis, which took me forever to learn how to pronounce, by the way. But I also have this other syndrome thing that I can't even pronounce. And these things kind of just morph together into one big super thing, which is so rare, they don't even have a name for it. I mean, I don't want to brag or anything, but I'm actually considered something of a medical wonder, you know? He smiled. That was a joke, he said. You can laugh. I smiled and shook my head. You're funny, Augie, I said. Yes, I am, he said proudly. I am Cool Beans. All right.